And there was a band I did a bunch of demos with called Lead something or other, Lead Zeppelin, whatever, those guys. You know, a whole lot of bleeding love and all of that. Anyway, after that, we built a studio for Jimi Hendrix called Electric Lady Studios. And I decided, you know, after Jimmy's death and all the rest of that, I worked as an engineer and then gradually as a producer. And around about 73, I decided to become an independent producer, engineer. And I think back, I've been in the business for about 47 bloody years and I'm still standing. I can't believe it, but here I am. And talking about stuff that I never thought I'd ever end up talking about, which is waves, plugins. Now, I've been using waves for, who would have thought, right? This analog guy doing all this digital stuff. But it started actually about 3 years ago, and I started to get familiar with the, is the ceiling going to come in on us? I don't know. I heard an elephant up there. Anyway, about 3 years ago we started working together, and we did a couple of tours of the US, which were very successful. And then about 18 months ago, we decided to do an Eddie Kramer plugin at the encouragement of Waves. And I'm really excited about it. I couldn't believe it. The way it sounded was, wow, this is very cool. I got to do my own thing with it. And it's an association it's a growing one and a wonderful one. I'm very proud to be involved with it. It's a bit of a challenge, actually, doing digital plugins that people can just sort of hit a button and hopefully it's going to sound right. But the analog world is kind of where I have one foot very firmly planted in the analog world and the other foot in the other world. I'm sort of straddling the fence trying to figure out what I'm going to. It started off about 2 years ago. I was probably in about a 5% region with digital plugins. Now, in the last year or so, it's about 50 or 60%. So I'm using a lot of plugins on my mixes. But it's still, I record 24-track, 15 IPS, Dolby SR, transfer it into Pro Tools with the best converters I can find, which are the Burl, B-U-R-L. Anybody heard of Burls? Yeah, one guy. That's very cool. They kick ass. Why? They've got transformers in them. And the stuff sounds amazing. All the stuff I just did for Warner's, for the new Woodstock redo, it's all with those HD converters. So working half in the box, half out of the box, it's a 50-50 deal for me right now. And I'd like to jump right into some of the stuff that we've come up with, if I may, and tell you a little bit about the first band that you're going to hear. Now, some of the stuff I actually did not record, but I did overdubs and mixes on, like this first band, called Surefire. They're from Brooklyn, New York. Hey, anybody from Brooklyn, New York over here? Nobody?
Just rock
okay. Well, we can soon fix that.
Yo, Adrian.
You have to excuse my rather silly accent, I'm sorry. This, as I said, was not recorded. I didn't actually record this, but we did a lot of tweaking and mixing and overdubbing and all the rest of that. The first thing is a bass drum. Now, I know that the contemporary way of writing this is a kick drum, which I hate with a passion. Since I'm British, I think I'm allowed to say bass drum, and that's what I call it. I mean, you don't kick the bloody bass drum. I mean, you play as a bloody pedal, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Thank God, there's some sense in this room. I mean, in America, you know, they go, hey man, it's a kick drum, man. Piss off. Sorry. You didn't hear me say that. All right, and the bass drum. Let's hear it without the plug-in. Sounds about me. It's not bad, but I think we can, let's go do the plug-in. Hello. Can you all hear it back there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want it louder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, you see, I knew that. There you go. All right, take it out. Let's play again. Let's see what happens. See? Right, and now put it in. Well, you can tell immediately what it's doing, right? So there's a compressor, there's a gate, there's a sensitivity control. You've got some treble and some bass. I've added a bit of bottom end, put a bunch of front end on it, and we've also got a gate and a compressor. Now let's try put the gate up all the way and see what happens. Now close it down. It works. It's a gate. And if you don't want those cymbals, you've got it. Try more compression. Nah, don't like it as much. Pull it back a bit more. Okay, about there. That's good. Open up the gate a slight. Whoa, no, that's a bit much. Come back. That's okay. Yeah, right about there. So, okay, here's the thing with all of these plugins that we've come up with. It's up to you as the individual user to tweak it. I've got my preset in there, and that's what I like. But you can try anything you want. I mean, that's the whole idea. That's the whole point. Let's go to the snare. Now, this sounds a bit like somebody's hitting a pudding. All right, hit the magic button. Hello. Right. So what I've done is obviously I've rolled off the bottom end because it's a bit, like I said, like hitting a big tub of pudding. And now the amount of compression. Let's pull that back. Let's see what happens. It needs to be more compressed. Now, Shakar, would you like to explain about the FX knob?
Sure. What we did with these plugins is basically sit in the studio for quite a while with Eddie and watch what he does on his individual tracks. And we saw that on his bass and on his snare, on his bass drum and on his, I was going to say kick drum, on his bass drum and on his snares, he parallel compresses quite often. So we integrated that into the plugin. So that effects knob right there is actually parallel compression. If you tweak it all the way to the right, you got a very heavily compressed snare, and you can mix between the two without getting any latency or phasing issues or anything of that sort.